friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about my worst books of 2021. Honestly, I kind of didn't like a lot of the books that I read. It was hard to narrow it down to 10. I might just like briefly mention some books that I also like, some more books that I didn't like, but these were the 10 worst to me. Reading is subjective. What I love, you may hate. What I hate, you may love. No book is a bad book. These are just books that I wish I had spent money on something else. And that's all it is, you know? I picked up these books obviously because I thought I would like them. So I know some people do. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. Whoops. So 10 books. 4 of them I do not have because pretty much as soon as I finished them, I wanted to get rid of them. The first is Sold on a Monday. Christina McMorris maybe is who it's by. This book I picked up because it is historical fiction. It is about, this takes place in 1931, kind of during the Great Depression, based off of a famous photo that was like 2 children for sale, like a mom tried to like sell her children. So we follow this photographer who like takes that photo, not really, but like, and I don't know, I thought it'd be based more around like the Great Depression, but we just like follow this photographer and like his work, and he has like an arch nemesis at work. The reporter Ellis Reed and the secretary Lillian Palmer like come together and they set out trying to find this family because they feel bad that they're like making money off of this photo. I don't know, I hated this book. Why? Because it's just not the story that I thought it was gonna be, and I just thought it like steered away from like the important historical stuff and like focused on these 2 characters and like their relationship. I don't know, it just felt really disjointed and I just really thoroughly did not like this book. I got rid of it as soon as I finished it. I was like searching my house high and low trying to find it, and then I was like, Sarah, you got rid of it because you hated it so much. And then It's on the Hamptons by Holly Peterson. I read this because someone by my apartment pool was reading it, so I wanted to read it. This book does not have good ratings. It's just simply not a good book. We follow these like moms in the Hamptons and like how unhappy they are with their lives. There's a lot of just like cheating and lying, and I hate reading about like affairs and stuff. I hate reading about like marriages and trouble. That's just like one of the things I don't like reading, so that's like what this book was about. And I just thoroughly did not like reading it. It literally is a 2.86 on Goodreads, so it was really quick, but it was horrible. And then I read The Perishing because it was a book of the month book. Sorry, I need to like look at y'all, don't I? Okay. The Perishing. I believe it was a debut by Natasha Dayon. Ooh, this one has bad ratings too. I'm so sorry. That's 2.83. We're following a black immortal in the 1930s Los Angeles who must recover the memory of her past in order to save the world. So we're following Lou, who wakes up in an alley in 1930s in Los Angeles and like can't remember anything about her life and like her past or anything, and so she's like immortal, and then we see her like way in the future and just like the different lives that she's lived. Sounds really cool. I think a lot of people were excited to pick it up, but it just did not deliver what it said it would. It basically just followed her everyday life in the 1930s. Like we just follow her like living, and the immortal part is not really in there. And there was also like part of the synopsis was that she like drew this man that she'd never met, and then she finally meets him and she's like, how did I know to draw him? That's in the back of your mind this whole book, and then it like never gets there. It gets there at the very end, and then you're like, what's the point? I don't know, it just felt really not finished. Like it had such good bones and like such good potential, but for me it just really did not do it, and I thought I'd be alone because I don't love like fantasy magic, so I thought maybe it's just me, but a lot of other people did not like it. So the last one that I don't have a physical copy of is In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. I borrowed this from a friend because she loved it. Honestly, I've seen like a lot of people love it. My sister recommended it to me, and usually we have the same type in books. We follow this lawyer. Her name is Danny. She has this like long-term boyfriend. She's like a lawyer, she's super into numbers, and she finally gets proposed by her boyfriend. She gets like this big jump in her career or whatever, and then she goes to bed and like has this vision that like in 5 years her life is gonna be completely different, and she's like with this different man, and then she like wakes up and she's like, that was way too real, like that is somehow my life in 5 years, like how do I get there? Then we see like her relationship with her best friend, and that was like a huge part of the book. I want to do a spoiler, but I'm not going to. Anyways, Dani was just like the worst character ever. I hated her. She was like the worst friend, the worst girlfriend I've ever read. Like she betrays her best friend, y'all. When I read that, I was like, how can anyone support this book? I was so into it at the beginning because I thought the concept was really cool, but her betrayal, ew, I hated it. Disgusting. I don't know how so many people love this book. I'm sorry, but I really did not like it. So, moving on. With each of these books, I can see why people like it, okay? Like, there are good qualities to every one of these books, but to me, they're just overpowered by how much I don't like them. I'm gonna get this out of the way because I honestly don't really remember. I think I read it in February. It's The Removed by Brandon Hobson. So I read this like almost a year ago, so I don't super remember everything about it. I just remember being so disappointed, and again, this having such potential. But we follow the Ikota family. They're part of the Cherokee. The son in the family is murdered, and we see each member of this family like trying to accept his death, mourn, like grieve. We see each one of their processes. I was really excited for like how the spiritual aspect of their family would come in, and like I thought it'd be more like magical. I don't know. There was like so much potential, and then it just really fell flat for me. It says, drawing deeply on Cherokee folklore, The Removed seamlessly blends the real and spiritual to excavate the deep reverberations of trauma. A meditation on family grief, home, and the power of stories on both a personal and ancestral level. That sounds incredible, right? It just doesn't do that for me. If you liked this book, I can totally see why. I think it was such a good idea. It's also so short, so I think if he like developed this idea more and like brought in more of that like Cherokee folklore that said it was, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just really didn't work for me, and I'm really sad about it because I was really excited about that book. I don't even know where to go. I've talked about this book a lot, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way as well. The Jet Setters by Amanda Eyre Award. I meant to pick up The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, but I couldn't remember what the title was or who wrote it. So I was at Barnes & Noble and I thought it was this book because it's yellow, and I thought The Unhoneymooners was about a cruise, but it's not. But this one is. We follow 70-year-old Charlotte, and she has like the worst relationship with her kids. She wants romance back in her life, and she wins tickets to go on this cruise. So she brings her children. Just all you need to know about this book is that there's so much family dysfunction that it makes me physically angry. Like, just communicate with each other. Just talk to each other. It is horrible. There is absolutely not a droplet of romance in this book. It's literally just a family drama. Like, I think there was like literally no point to this story at all. Like, after I finished it, I was like, why does this exist as a book? There's no point. It is really cute though, so I have kept it all year, but I am getting rid of it because I got The Unhoneymooners, so, which is what I meant to get. This was such a disappointment. Don't recommend it. Pick up a different romance that's actually about a romance. I'm gonna do Cobble Hill next by Cecily von Zigasar. I don't know. My sweet friends wanted to do book club with me like a month ago, so they picked up this book for me and they were like, let's do this thing, and I'm so excited. I love talking about books, obviously, so they bought it for me, so I feel so bad talking about how much I didn't like it. But I don't know. I think because like I didn't get to pick it out, I don't know, it's just not what I would usually go for. Actually, it kind of is. It talks about this like neighborhood in Brooklyn, Cobble Hill, this neighborhood. And we see like each one of like a lot of the different neighbors that live there, and we go into their lives and like how they intersect. So like I do love books like that. I really thought I would enjoy it. The cover's so cute. She wrote Gilmore Girls? No, she wrote Gossip Girl novels. So like, gotta be good, right? Again, what was the point of this book? So weird. There's a character that like fakes having a chronic illness to just like have an excuse to lay in bed all day. Hated that. I hated so much of this book. There were so many characters that I couldn't tell who they were. Like, they did not have a distinctive enough voice at all. It was a waste of time. I'm sorry. Also, neither of my friends have finished it, and it's been like a month and a half, so I don't think we'll ever talk about it together, but they do know that I don't like it. But it was, again, I had such high hopes and it just let me down. But it's so cute. I'm gonna keep it on my shelf a little bit longer. Really, you know, get my fill of this cover and then I'll get rid of it. But what a disappointment. Jeez. These 3 books I got because of all the hype, because I've heard about them, they have a lot of people talking about them, and I thought I would like them, and I was so disappointed. This book I haven't heard much about, but like it's a really famous movie, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. I read this maybe in like March, and I honestly couldn't tell you what it's about. And I don't really feel like looking up what it's about. I don't really want to relive this novel. All I remember is so much talk of abusive elephants, which I should have known going into it because like it's obviously about a circus. There's obviously elephants. It's like historical, so you know it's like set in the past where people didn't really care about animals. But I love animals, and so reading about them being harmed is like my least, I hate it. I hate it. So that's what a majority of this book was, so no surprise that I hated it. No more words have to be said about that book. Getting rid of her. I think these are 2 of like the biggest disappointments of the year. Trust Exercise by Susan Choi. I got this because so many people talk about it, and I feel like you either love it and you get it and you're like there for it, or you hate it and don't know what the hell is going on. And that was me. I had no idea what was going on in this book. We follow high schoolers in this drama class in a high school in Houston, I think. And we follow like their love story or whatever and how close they are to their theater director. And then like halfway through, one of the like lesser characters is now the narrator, and she's like, everything you read is fake. Or like, I don't even know. I don't even think that's a spoiler because I don't even think that's what happened. Thankfully, I got it used, so it was only $8, but this will be returned back to the bookstore because books that make me feel stupid, I obviously don't like. So that's that one. And then the last one I have is Black Buck by Mateo Ascarapour. I was so excited. It's so cute. I feel like it's gotten some good buzz. I don't know how. We follow Buck. That's not his real name. What's his real name? Darren. He's 22, he works at Starbucks, and then this big like CEO guy comes into Starbucks and Darren like sells him this cup of coffee that he usually doesn't get. So the CEO is like super impressed and he's like, ooh, come work with me at my firm and like be a salesman. So Darren's like, okay, and then he goes by Buck. That's what they call him now. And he's like kind of the token black guy at this company, very much Wolf of Wall Street. I don't really know what that company does. Kind of like Wolf of Wall Street, like I don't really know what they do. They like sell things. Everyone at the company just like treats him like shit, but because it's just such like a hard dynamic, like I know that's what he meant to, like the author meant to do. Buck turns into a piece of crap and like a horrible human being, and he just makes mistake after mistake. And I can usually take a good amount of that in books, like a character making mistakes, because usually like they redeem themselves. Buck does not. He just makes every mistake possible. I literally just want to like shake him and be like, what are you doing? Because it makes me so angry. This book was described as like satire. I don't see anything satirical about it. It's just simply a frustrating book. Really negative. It's really just like dark and depressing and weird, and I really wanted to DNF this book, but I can't DNF books. So I did finish it, but it is so bad I wish I didn't. My biggest disappointments of the year. Really not good. Really not good. I am getting rid of it, no matter how cute it is. I did also pay full price for it. $26 for this. I do want to mention The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I did get rid of it. I was so disappointed by that book because last year, The Nightingale was my favorite book of the whole year by Kristen Hanna. And then The Four Winds came out, I read it, and it wasn't for me. I'm trying to think of other books that I was disappointed by, but those are the 10 that really stick out to me. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of these books. If you read them, if you love any of them, I would love to like have that discussion because I think it's fun to have differing opinions. Hopefully I don't read bad books this year. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.